So, Mass Effect Andromeda came out recently, and one thing that people were noticing that was kind of strange about it was the animations, specifically the facial animations, were a bit off. And this was a problem, I want to say, going back to fall or winter when they first announced it. So, when things are first announced, you might have some rough things showing up like animations, but they stayed in there all the way up to the final release.
So it was released with funny faces.
Released with funny faces.
Even though people have been saying for quite some time to make it not so funny.
Right. People have kind of noticed this for a while, and it seems like, well, they're going to go ahead and let it out anyway.
Can you give us like an example of a funny face?
Yeah, how about this? I'm really tired right now.
That, actually, it's not so funny. I've seen that face before. I work in an office.
Well, they're just they're very stiff and wooden performances is what it puts across.
Something that a fourth title in a series should probably be over by now.
Yeah. Now, to be honest and to be open here, I don't really like the Mass Effect series. It doesn't. Number one, it's a shooter. I'm not really into shooters.
Yeah.
I know, I know that it has a lot of fans out there, and that's fine. It's just, I think the first game just struck me just very off because you could go. I remember distinctly, you could go into a bar, take your weapon out, shoot someone in the head, and there was like zero effect. It was basically like shooting a wall if you like
a
shot
massless
an NPC.
Effect.
Mass non-effect?
Yeah.
Mass non-effective.
It doesn't affect the Higgs field. We'll say that.
It's Mass Effect.
Yeah.
It's not very effective.
Yeah.
Now they have released a patch which has taken care of a lot of those issues. But here's what I want to know. When this kind of thing happened, you simply delayed the game. And that goes for any glitches. Like if you saw glitches, you would simply say, hey, we're going to take an additional 2 months and iron these things out. Because they did it pretty quickly. I mean, this patch came out within like 2 weeks, I want to say. 3 weeks, maybe, tops. Why not just push the game back a couple of weeks or 3 weeks?
What if it just took that long? What if they've been working on it for months and months? And they just took them that long.
Just push it back so that you have a day one patch that takes care of it. It's just to me like, and maybe this is intentional. Maybe they do something like this just so that the game gets more attention. But then again, it's Mass Effect. Like, of course it's going to get a lot of attention. It's a AAA title. This is not the kind of attention I would think you'd want for your game.
And no one's thinking about artistic integrity or structure. It's corporate now. Like it's a huge enterprise, and so they're not going to push anything back. They want it to be released.
Release dates are delivery dates to them.
Exactly.
Like how in our industry, like everything's about the delivery date. We got to deliver on this date.
Yeah, like an audit closeout. Like it must be completed by this time, or else the government, man.
Right.
So it's like maybe in the 90s, people like we saw. Like games, their release dates were pushed back.
Well, but Nintendo still does that. I mean, they delayed Zelda. It was supposed to come out back in 2015.
Yeah, that's true. But that's Nintendo.
But still, I'm saying you can still do it, and you can point to, well, why are you delaying it? Quality. We want to give you the best game, and not just because it seems like this is becoming the norm now.
You can patch anything, so they don't really care. It's like.
And that's fine. Yeah. That's fine to patch stuff, especially stuff you found later. I want to say that in Zelda Skyward Sword, there was some kind of glitch that never got patched because they didn't do patches on the Wii. There was something that you could basically get into a cycle of, if you didn't talk to the right person in the right order or right people in the right order, you could actually break your progression in the game. Like you couldn't progress any further. You'd have to start the game over.
When they release a patch, can you uninstall the patch?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you probably would have to stay disconnected to the internet anytime you played the game.
See, now that's not fun, because what if you want that patch? Because, I mean, some of those faces have got to be great. Just priceless. Like, I was like, man, well, this is okay. So,
well, and the thing, and I know that there's online components to the game, so if you want to use the online components, you've got to stay on the latest patch.
Man, I like...
What has gaming become?
I like Unreal. The Unreal Engine.
Uh-huh.
Because anyone can use it. You just need to buy out the rights.
Yeah, you buy a license fee. You pay a license fee, and you go with it.
But it's free if you just want to just use it.
Right.
You can just use it
for like a project that you're not going to make any money off of.
Yeah. I've got family that is in the animation business, and for the office they take the Unreal Engine, and they would build their entire office in 3D, and they'd put it there like interactive with papers flying around and that kind of stuff, and everybody was in a 3D animator, so they would then create their own models of characters, whoever they wanted. Like somebody was Bender from Futurama, because they'd spent the time to model it and do the animations and stuff.
Right.
Why can't we get to that with some of these games nowadays, where like they release patches to fix the faces? What if we want funnier faces? Like, we should have the right to go in there and just mod it.
Well, I mean, back in the 90s, they used to do something called big head mode, where like everyone had like massive heads, or they'd have like really big hands and feet, and just to make things look funny as a joke, and that'd be like
we used to have a lot
unlockable
of fun like
code, and see, I think games are getting like you said, it's marketing, it's the whole corporateness of the industry that's taking over. Yeah. But what I just don't understand, because when this game was announced less than a year ago, I mean, we're not too far away where, and again, Nintendo still does this, where they announce a game and it's like, it's got like at least a year out.
Yeah.
I just feel like games when they have such a short development cycle, you're going to get stuff like this.
Yeah. But nowadays, people are we'll just patch it. We'll just patch it on later.
Yeah, but in the meantime, you get basically. I watched a supercut of like all of the glitches in this game, and it makes the game look really bad and really unpolished.
Yeah, which is weird.
No Man's Sky. I mean, look at No Man's Sky and how much negativity that game got.
Oh yeah, well that was marketing with No Man's Sky. They're like, it's gonna be this, and the developers were like,
no,
it is.
It is, sure.
Yeah, it is going to be like that. And we're like, oh, well, we'll just, okay. Yeah, we'll just go with it. People are going to buy it and not return it, right? Okay, good.
Well, if they buy it digitally, we don't have to give them a refund.
Can't return
it. I would be, if they went back to a model of, hey, we're going to delay the game a few months for quality reasons, I'd be okay with that. Granted, I wasn't looking forward to Mass Effect Andromeda, but I feel like that there's a lot of people out there that could understand. And it seems like one of the complaints for Mass Effect Andromeda were the dead eyes that characters had. And and looking back over the screenshot comparisons, all they did with some characters is they literally just went and added a little bit of shadow to the whites of their eye, and that made a big difference. But at the same time, it's like, how does that get left out of the game for months of development? Months.
I'd like to see a troll face patch. We're just randomly talking, and then all of a sudden, like no motion or anything, it just snaps or just like really.
Everyone's resting face is a troll face.
Yeah, just like a derpy face. It would be so good.
If
or the wandering eye patch where they're just talking and one of the eyes starts wandering. Actually,
when I was watching one of those, it did seem like one character, like her eyes were not were not quite move, like it would move like this, like one would look like this, and they'd be just slightly off some of the time when they moved.
Yeah, and I know people like that. So I mean, you're taking the real out of it.
It's truly realistic.
Yeah, it's truly realistic.
And Mass Effect is all about diversity. We really need to include
exactly. It's
this
truly
in the game.
Yeah.
Oh boy.